Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopiya Navalava Girivaradari Gopiya Navalava Girivaradari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopiya Navalava Girivaradari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari Gopiya Navalava Girivaradari Gopiya Navalava Girivaradari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Asto Dharasata Sisi Mahisivangre Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Asto Dharasata Sisi Mahisivangre श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवश्री गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की, श्री वृंदावन धाम की, श्री नवद्वीप धाम की, श्री मयपुर धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, इस्कॉन द्वारका की, लॉर्ड श्री श्री लॉर्ड जगन्नाथ बालादेव सुभद्रा जी की, श्री श्री गौरनिताय की, श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की, तुलसी देवी महारानी की, भक्ति देवी की, यमुनामयी गंगामयी की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की। All glories to the Assembly Devotees, all glories to the Assembly Devotees, all glories to the Assembly Devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Today we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 27, Text number 11, Understanding Material Nature. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanang Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devi Sarasvatim Vyasa Tato Yana Mudiraye Nasta Prayesva Vadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamas Loke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So verse is 11. Muktalingan sad avasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asakchakshu sarvanushyutam advayam muktalingam sadavasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhum asakchakshu sarvanushyutam udvayam muktalingam sadavasam asati pratipadyate sato bandhuna sakchakshu sarvanushyutam advayam muktalingam sadavasam Kalingam sadavasam sati pratipate sadovandhu masakchaksu sarvanushyutam advaya. Sarvanashitam advayam. Vaishnavis. Muktasangan Sadavasan Sati Pratipadyate Satobandhum Asachakshu Sarvanushitam Muktalingam, transcendental. Sad Avasam, manifest as a reflection. Asati, in the false ego. Pratipadyate, he realizes. Satabandhum, the support of the material cause. Asat Chakshu, the eye revealer, or the illusory energy. Sarva Anusyutam, unto everything. Advayam, without a second. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. A liberated soul realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental and who is manifest as a reflection even in the false ego. He is the support of the material cause, and he enters into everything. He is absolute, one without a second, and he is the eye of the illusory energy. Purport. A pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there only as a reflection, but a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, who is its support. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Krishna. And as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Krishna is the cause of all causes. In the Brahma Samhita, it's stated that the Supreme Lord, by his partial or plenary expansion, is present not only within this universe and each and every universe, but in every atom, although he is one without a second. The word Advayam, without a second, which is used in this verse, indicates that although the Supreme Personality of God is represented in everything, including the atoms, he is not divided. His presence in everything is explained in the next verse. Just to expand a little bit more in this, we read from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 4. Maya tatamidan sarvam jagadavyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani nachahante swabhastita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I'm not in them. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceived through the gross material senses. It is said, Atashi Krishna namadi navaved grahyam indriyat sevon mukhe hijivado swayan evas puratyada. Lord Shri Krishna's name, fame, pastime, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. In the Brahma Samhita it is stated, Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeso vilokayanti. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself if one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all-pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. This is indicated here by the word Avyakta Murtina. But actually, Although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in the 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet one should not conclude that because he's spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere, and everything is in me. But still, I am aloof. For example, a king heads a government which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the energies of the departments resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the kings to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists both in this material world and the spiritual world are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vishtavyaham idam Krishnam, is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Gaur Govinda Swami Tinamine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Pashyatya Satarine Mukhaṁ Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giri Yad Kripata Mahamande Sri Guru Nirataniro Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. So interesting, beautiful verse with beautiful explanation. It is said in the Vedic literatures that most of all the different species of lives, 8,400,000, they have eyes to see the reality where they live. But only human beings have the eyes to see God. So there are two levels actually to see God. One is with pure spiritual love. You can see God, Krishna Prema, like the Braja Bhumis in Vrindavan, or the sadhanas, siddhas, Krishna Premis, bhaktas. That's one. Then you have the other level of those who are the eyes coated with strong desire and eagerness to see God. They are not yet in Prem, but they have a strong desire and eagerness to see God. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse that says that the perfect vision, the perfect devotee sees in this way. What is that verse? 630. That's 630. Yamam pasati sarvatra sarvanchai magvipasyati tasyaham na pranasyati na pranasyami tasyaham na pranasyati. One who sees me, he says, everywhere and everything in me, for him, I am not lost to him, and he doesn't lose sight of me, and I don't and he doesn't, and I don't lose sight of him. So that's the one who has the perfect vision, the Krishna Bhakta, who is full love for Krishna. But the other ones, most of us were not. We're in the process of learning. So eagerness is required. Eagerness to see God. Because the pure devotee, he can see everything. For him, Krishna is present everywhere. But we are not. So some of us, we are learning. Some devotees are being successful. I have seen many devotees in the way they work and deal with the material energy and the way they conduct their Krishna consciousness or guide disciples and spread Krishna consciousness in the movement. They're very successful. And so what's for the rest of us, or let's say not just us, but the people in general out there? We have other religious groups who also have serious followers. They also see God, in the way they do. So there are, Krishna in his infinite compassionate mood, he actually arranged for everyone to see him. And we have many, many statements, and in the Bhagavad Gita there's a full chapter of that. You might know which chapter I'm referring to specifically. The 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the taste of water. When you see the moon and the moon and the sun, the light, that's Krishna. When you see the ocean there, you see, he is that too, the ocean. When you go in the field, well, in California, Los Angeles, it's difficult because everything is like cement, concrete. But when you're in the field, like when I was a child, I used to work with the land, and the smell of the earth is so wonderful, it's the memories in my heart. I was harvesting and planting and helping my father in the field with the bulls. And I was like, oh my God, this smell is like, I can't here in Los Angeles. It's difficult. Everything is cement and oil and plastic everywhere, buildings, concrete. Punyaganda Prithiviyam cha. That's Krishna. I don't think this is in the books, but I heard some devotee says that when you see a flower, actually that's the smile of Krishna. The Prabhupada said that. When you see the flowers, I didn't know that statement, so every time I see a flower, wow, that's the smile of Krishna. So you see, Krishna is in his infinite compassion, is helping every living being to see him, see me, here I am. So not only that, but also he mentions so many other things, the birds, Garuda, or the lions, and, for the birds, Garuda, or the animals, the lion. And then he also says of the secrets, I'm silent, isn't it? Yeah. And also of the first letters, I'm the letter A, and the beginning, and the middle, and the end. It's like, wow, yes. Every little facet of our life, we have there, Krishna has given us for us to see him and making some advancement. Unfortunately, the material energy is so strong. We try to separate things, and that's when illusion comes. In the Bhagavatam, there's one verse, it says, what is that? Rite artham yad pratiyeta, na pratiyeta chadmani, tadvidya admano mayan, yatavaso yatatamaha. He says, oh Rama, Lord Krishna is speaking to Lord Rama. Whatever you see of any value, if it is without me, it has no reality. It's an illusion. It's born from the ignorance, tama. So everything has to be related to Krishna, and that's Krishna. We don't have that vision. The pure devotee has the vision, and for us it's just to cling, to get attached to the instructions of the spiritual master, or the pure devotees, to see Krishna. In the meantime, what do? Well, the program is set up in such a wonderful way that we can actually, if you want, you can come and see the beautiful deity forms of the Lord. And yes, you can see the devotees chanting, dancing. You can, in your home, you can read your books. You have your altar, you have your deities, and that's also okay, that's bona fide, totally. It's wherever you are. There's no excuses. It's not just that people can see, Krishna in the temple. Yeah, it's there for those who want to, but also there. And even if you're not in your home, if you're just walking in the street and you see persons there, you see the smiling face of Krishna in the heart of that person. Because Krishna is Andantarasta Paramano Chayantarastan. He's not just there scattered in the universe, but he's also within the heart of every living being. And that's there. So all we have to do is to be eager. Srila Prabhupada mentions that eagerness is essential in our spiritual life. We can make a genuine advances if we are eager to do that. What is that verse also? Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavati Mati. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavati Mati. Yadi, what is that? I forget the second line. You have to have lolian, that eagerness, that desire to actually see Krishna. You can, it says that millions and millions of pious activities will not help you to see Krishna. But if you have lolian, that strong desire, you can get Krishna. Also, Srila Prabhupada mentions that, if you want to see Krishna, yes, it's possible. You can see Krishna provided that you have that eagerness. And also, Prabhupada told many times that beautiful story of that. Even he was a thief. One time he was in a crowd there was a Bhagavatam lecture, and he heard the description of the beautiful Gopal Krishna with beautiful ornaments, jewels, diamonds, peacock feather, yellow dhoti, charming boy. His name is Gopal, it's Krishna. And he's listening, the thief is like, oh my God, I can make a fortune here. So that desire to go and do his thing, he didn't go to actually see him because he was in love. He wanted to steal the jewels from Krishna. So he managed to go to Vrindavan and find out that it's in Vrindavan, the cowherd boy. So he looked at Krishna. He saw him there, beautiful boy, so charming. And he started canvassing like, can you give me your jewels? And he said, no, Mother Yasoda will get angry. She will get upset. She will not like it. But he persisted and persisted. Krishna said, okay, take. So he got Krishna. After that, he just like, what is the use? I have Krishna. He charmed Krishna. So we have to have that eagerness to bound Krishna within our heart. If you capture Krishna in your heart and you keep him in your heart, those loving eyes will, with those loving eyes, you'll keep him there. You will always see him everywhere. So that is the main thing. As far as seeing Krishna in different ways too, for example, the devotee who is full Krishna consciousness can see Krishna in different practical ways. And sometimes we might not be able to understand. Something that came to my mind is that when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj got initiated, I think he had two instructions. Do not go to Calcutta. That was one. Do not take disciples. And then he go, wait a minute, he went to Calcutta and he took disciples. Did he disobey the orders of the spiritual master? No, actually no. He had a deeper vision and understanding the presence of Krishna even in those instructions that appear to be like negative in one sense, because he was so full Krishna conscious that he understood the mission, and he was not in the outside in the material world in Calcutta. Even our Prabhupada, he also said the same statement. When I am in Australia or New York, I'm not in Australia, I'm not in New York. I am in Vaikuntha. See, the vision of the pure devotee. When Srila Prabhupada came to America by the orders of the spiritual master, he had a strong faith in the words of the Guru and the master. He came, and it is said that in the tradition of, the Vedic culture, some sadhus will not approve that somebody will come to the West to teach this philosophy to the Yavanas and Malechas. But that was not the vision of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta or Srila Prabhupada. They came to fulfill his mission. His mission is the mission of Krishna. So they saw Krishna. And when Srila Prabhupada came to the West and gave his teachings, he engaged his female disciples. That was not done so much in the West, like engaged in deity worship. I mean, inside here, worshiping the deities and so many other things. He was, to some point, maybe criticized, but he tolerated. He knew what was the higher principle. So they can see Krishna there. Now there is another aspect in which it's very difficult to see Krishna. I can see that, everywhere we see that. What's that? In reverses. When things don't go the way you want. Even as a devotee, you might be like, oh, in the temple, chanting, dancing, everything is nice. Everybody likes me, I'm doing this and that. But wait, the test might come. What about when you get sick? That's really a serious thing. I have some little spark of experience. One time, I had a big rash in my leg, like, I don't know how you call this. Anyway, it was like, almost like bleeding type, like measles, pain, like terrible. You cannot scratch because it will bleed. But if you don't scratch, the pain is there. You want to scratch. And at one moment, thought, I can understand why some people commit suicides. Although I didn't want to. I never in my life had a thought for me. But I just thought, I can see that some people, they cannot handle certain things and they just like kill themselves, unfortunately. So anyway, how to see Krishna in reverses? And there are many different ways. The thought that came to my mind now is the Vidura, pure devotee of the Lord. He's following Dharma. He's very dharmic. He's speaking the truth right there to his brother Dhritarashtra. And when he speaks the truth about the evil Duryodhana, he got very angry, Duryodhana. He kicked him out of the house. He didn't just lose his job because he was a minister. That's his job. He got kicked out of his home too. You know how many people there, you get kicked out of your job. It's like, what am I going to do? And then worse than that, okay, I'm going to my home, but he doesn't have a home. He got kicked out of his job, his work, and his home. What did he do? He took it as a great blessing. He was like, yeah. He went to travel all the beautiful pilgrimages, meeting sages, meeting Uddhava, great devotee of the Lord, and the beautiful exchanges he had there. So that, amazing. You know, when you have that caliber, of course you can say it's very elevated, it's pure. Krishna used them for us to learn and see. What to speak of Mother Kunti, who went through so many reverses with the Pandavas, his children, her children. But he is glorifying Krishna, he's praying to Krishna. Krishna, when he's ready to go, don't go. He said, in one of her prayers, he says, let the calamities come, one after another one. Why? Because when those calamities come, I can see you. See? That's another way of seeing Krishna. Seeing Krishna in different forms in the universe, but seeing Krishna in your dealings, in your work, in your service, in your reverses, that's very difficult. But if you are Krishna conscious, you can overcome all these difficulties. So I leave, there's 5 minutes there, so if anybody has some comment or add something or reflections, Yeah. Yeah, microphone is good always. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you mentioned about flowers being Krishna smiling,
Yes.
and actually Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to Balavanta Prabhu about that. He was saying that the flowers are Krishna smiling. And also it's stated in the first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, and one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada mentions how they say that the beauty of material nature is a smiling of the Supreme Lord. And the sweet songs of the birds are specimens of the whispering voice of the Lord.
Wow, thank you, Prabhu Ravindranath. Someone who reads the books. Thank you for your contribution, that's great.
So right here at the end of your class, you're talking about how Vidura, when he got lost his job and got kicked out of the palace as well, he kind of could see that, this is an opportunity, I'll go on pilgrimage. And that was, so it's like a blessing in disguise. But how does somebody who's not like as an advanced devotee, Vidura is a very advanced devotee, Kunti's a very advanced devotee. What about somebody who's just like, a beginner in devotional service? How do they go about dealing? What should they do? Because it's going to...
That's a big challenge. To the degree of how Krishna consciousness you are, you can deal with that. But we are not, most of us, we are not at that. You just, say, be patient, don't overreact right away. If you're practicing Krishna, you're talking for a devotee or someone who doesn't practice Krishna consciousness?
Devotee.
For a devotee. We know the basis of a lot of things of how to, deal with these issues. If you become calm, sober, you go to a senior devotee and you take darshan from them and you beg for some solution to that. And Krishna, through that devotee, will guide you to do the right thing. Because if you overreact, you might not have the right decision and you might ruin your life like that. Any other? Or you can expand if you have more to say. Maharaj, Srila Virabhaja Prabhu, would you like to say something? Yeah.
This last part about reverses, I was thinking on a verse from the on the purport from the Bhagavatam, actually from the third canto, and at the end of chapter 16, so this may apply. When something, purport by Srila Prabhupada, when something is arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should not be disturbed by it, even if it appears to be a reverse, according to one's calculations. For example, sometimes we see that a powerful preacher is killed, or sometimes he's put into difficulty, just as Haridas Thakur was. He was a great devotee who came into this material world to execute the will of the Lord by preaching the Lord's glories. But Haridas was punished at the hands of the Kazi by being beaten in 22 marketplaces. Similarly, Lord Jesus Christ was crucified, and Prahlad Maharaj was put through so many tribulations. The Pandavas, who were direct friends of Krishna, lost their kingdom, their wife was insulted, and they had to undergo many severe tribulations. Seeing all these reverses affect devotees, one should not be disturbed. One should simply understand that in these matters there must be some plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavatam's conclusion is that a devotee is never disturbed by such reverses. He accepts even reverse conditions as the grace of the Lord. This is Prabhupada paraphrasing that famous verse, Tatenu Kampan Susanichamano. One who continues to serve the Lord even in reverse conditions is assured that he will go back to Godhead, back to the Vaikuntha planets.
Wow, thank you very much. And I just, the last part, I couldn't help it, but I was remembering Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. When Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was, most of you know how he went through all these pains in his body about the cancer. But if you listen to his last lectures and the last time when he was speaking, oh my God, it's like full realization. How Krishna conscious could you be when you're having so much troubles with your body, suffering, and then this devotee, Bhaktitirtha Maharaj, he is like, oh my God, like 100% Krishna conscious. So if you can read or you can Google that lecture, you will understand how when someone is Krishna conscious, you see Krishna even in that difficult situation more. Anybody else? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada.